Look, let's just get into it and be honest with ourselves. This episode of SmackDown isn't even worth yelling over necessarily. I'm probably going to because this episode is garbage. I'm shutting it off an hour before, 10 p.m. Eastern time because I'm not watching this show. The Drew McIntyre, I can't stop thinking about Punk. This jobber just came out and cut his promo and it was straight garbage. I'm the nightmare now, Cody. I defended myself. You didn't want this to happen, but I prayed for it and it happened. You're spreading yourself too thin. You can't stop thinking about Punk. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's absolute garbage. What eventful or interesting thing happened on this episode of SmackDown? Now, like I said, I didn't watch the last hour of the show, so I'm just going off what I've seen, and what I've seen is garbage. Triple H is on vacation right now, as I exposed on Monday, right? This dude wasn't even backstage because he's not even there. He's on some vacation, I think, on the family. Like, I saw some TMZ posts about it earlier, but the fact is, this show sucks with or without Triple H being there to book the shows. This is garbage product. You remember when growing up, for example, at least, in my times growing up, and other people, times in their generations, they had much better stuff than this as well. But when I was growing up, you would have a SmackDown or a Raw, for example, where you would have people like Batista, Orton, Cena, Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, you know what I'm saying? CM Punk in his prime, Edge, etc., Rey Mysterio. These are the people who would open and close your shows. Now, you open the show with Samuel Zayn going out to talk to Solo Sikoa and Jefferson Cobathan on how to exactly get a U.S. championship back. Nobody cares. This is not good TV. Nobody's excited about this. Are you excited to see Jeffrey Cobb fight Sami Zayn? Are you excited to see Jefferson Cobb fight Sami Zayn? Think about that sentence, bro. You used to see Batista main eventing SmackDowns with actual legends like Undertaker, and now you're sitting here watching Samuel Zayn, Jimmy Uso, and Jacoby Fatu versus the MFT. That's what you're watching, bro. Like, none of this is like who cares about any of this stuff, man? This is garbage, bro. And everyone should know this by now. This company doesn't care. Triple H doesn't care. TKO does not care. Nobody cares about making engaging and actual interesting television. Every segment feels phoned in and lifeless. They're predictable. You know what's going to happen before it happens. That makes all the segments meaningless. It's lifeless. None of the storylines have any creativity in them. There's no intrigue. There's no nuance. Tiffany Stratton literally was in a backstage segment with guess who? Nia Jax and Jade Cargill, the same people she's been having backstage segments and feuding and matches with for the last 7 months, it feels like, man. It's the same thing. The Nia Jax and Tiffany stuff has been going on for a year and it's still happening. Cody Rhodes, Dr. Libations, the full-time champion himself, is not here tonight. He just took a 7 or 8 week break after WrestleMania, or no, they may not even been 7 weeks, maybe it was more like a month, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, but whatever. A 5-week break after Mania, and now all of a sudden he's back, and then after 2 months of being there and barely wrestling, now he's back taking a break again. I don't care if it's in storyline, out of storyline, I do not care. This show is garbage. I don't care what happens on any of these shows. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So we're going to run through this because there's one specific thing that I saw that I actually really enjoyed and I thought was really a good and a step in the right direction for a specific wrestler. That being Carmelo Hayes. You know what I'm saying? However, outside of that, this show is dead, it's lifeless, it's boring, it's bad, it's not creative, and it absolutely sucks. It is probably the worst wrestling show on the planet right now. And the crazy thing is that SmackDown is way better, is way worse than Raw, and Raw is awful. So I don't know what to say, man. As I've realized that this is literally the worst SmackDown ever, at least one of them, I think it's safe to go ahead and make this the shortest SmackDown review that I have ever done, okay, because I didn't watch the last half of the show, and I'm not going back and watching it. I'm gonna check up the results, I guess, and I'll go it that way. First off, we started off with, what was it, man? It was a garbage and meaningless promo where Sami Zayn came out to thank Solo Sikoa, to appreciate Solo Sikoa, to love Solo Sikoa, and basically say that after months of talking about the World Heavyweight Championship and his aspirations and goals, he's now gonna fight Solo for the U.S. Championship. Then after this, they have a brawl segment. Of course, Solo starts yelling, and then Jacob Fatu, who was just feuding with Sami at Survivor Series, and Jimmy Uso as well, is now teaming with them to fight against the MFT, and then that match is the main event of the show. So I don't care about this segment. We can move on. We then move on from this. I believe we got Alexa Bliss versus Piper Niven. Alexa Bliss won in a roll-up, and then afterwards you got a brawl. It's the same thing every week. I'm done wasting time on this garbage, bro. This is genuinely the worst SmackDown ever. I don't even want to talk about it. That's just being honest with you guys. No one should actually have anything to say more than maybe 10 minutes talking about this episode. Like, genuinely. There's nothing happened on this show. Literally nothing. This will go down as the most forgettable SmackDown episode ever. It really is. Then on top of that, after this took place, I think we had I think it was a Drew McIntyre promo, it may have been, or no, it was Melo Don't Miz versus Fraxium. I enjoyed this because Carmelo Hayes is actually over. He's in his hometown of Boston, so it may have just been that, but he was over tonight, man. He got a pop, he got reactions, we want Melo, all that stuff. I thought it was great. I enjoy Carmelo Hayes. You guys know I think he deserves much better booking. I think we can all agree on that. So seeing him out there tonight, I thought was pretty fun. And him and Miz, they had it so that Miz was the one who took the pin from Melo. So that way, people are going to keep on wanting Melo to be the one to get the final W, So this could retroactively get Melo over, even more over, I guess, in the coming weeks. So I thought this was a step in the right direction. And the match was entertaining, with some really good spots. And then after this, we got a Drew McIntyre promo. And for someone like Drew McIntyre, who normally cuts decent or solid promos, this was unwatchable. Genuinely, I almost fell asleep during this promo. He basically bored the crowd to death. There was barely any energy from the crowd during this. Barely any energy at all tonight. This is the worst episode of SmackDown ever. And with a garbage promo from Drew McIntyre. He basically says that he was self-defensing against Cody. He had to defend himself. He didn't want to do this, but he had to. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's move on from this garbage. I don't even want to talk about this. He basically said that if you keep pushing me, Cody, I'm going to be your nightmare. Let's move on from that. I don't know what we got after this. I think it was DIY versus Street Profits. I don't know who won this match. This is the 50th time they've done this, so I don't give a crap. Then on top of that, what else did we have after this, man? I think it was Tiffany Stratton backstage. She had multiple different segments where basically she was talking to Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. The same stuff she's been doing for the last year. There's nothing to speak of here. She has a conversation, backstage with Kiana James about potentially getting a pink championship belt. I don't know what this is. Why is Tiffany Stratton getting so overpushed? She's not that good. Why are we holding a belt on her for over 200 days, man? Like, be honest. What amazing story or great moment or great promo or amazing matches has she put together in this title run? Like, be honest with yourself. Like, what are we doing at this point? Now she's getting a pink title eventually? Like, dude, stop. Then we move on from this, and I think that was the main event. I think that was it. We had a couple backstage segments with Ron Killings I saw was backstage doing whatever. Triple H fumbled his momentum, so nobody cares. And then we had the main event of Sammy, Jacob Fatu, and Jimmy Uso, and they beat the MFT, and nobody cares. I don't know why you would have two people who are fighting for the same mid-card championship, but you know what? Hey, man, it is what it is. You're going to have Solo, Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn. Everybody wants the U.S. championship now, and that is your SmackDown. No superstars, no energy, no life, no creativity, poor booking, nonsensical booking, and an unentertaining show, and a show that's largely predictable, and repetitive and monotonous. This is awful. It gets a negative 15 out of 10. This is the worst SmackDown that I have ever seen. It's so bad I don't even have the energy to rage about it, man. That's how bad it was. So thank you guys for watching this video. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out and one love.